Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to me. Because I'm sitting down here and I'm recording this for you guys, so you guys can listen to me talk for about an hour about just stuff because I have nothing better to do. Actually, that's a lie because my parents could easily name 101 things I could be doing with my life. That's better than making stuff right now. But that's besides the point. Today we will be talking about the playoff picture in the NFL, and the main reason is we're getting to that time of year where so some teams start creeping into the playoffs, some teams start fading a bit, some teams show that maybe they don't deserve the hype that they've had for a while. So it's all a good time. So I guess without further ado, we'll start. So I guess we'll start in the AFC. First off, in the number one seed right now, and I'm filming this on the 22nd or the 26th of November. So the Thanksgiving games just ended. I'm happy the Raiders beat the Cowboys. Because now the Eagles, if we win on Sunday against the Giants, which I sure hope we beat the Giants, we're only one game out of first place in the division, so I'll take it. I don't know if we deserve to be here right now, but I'll take it. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, the number one seed right now is the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans, they've had a pretty weird season to say the least. Start off the season okay, but then they lose to the Jets, an absolutely crushing game for them. They start getting back on track, start beating the Bills after a bit. But then, a huge blow. Derrick Henry, out. I think he's out for the season. And that is a huge blow for a team that was expected to have that specific player rush for 2,000 yards a season. He's basically the best running back they've ever had. Well, that's probably true. And, the Titans have had some pretty good running backs in history. But let's take a look at their past few games. They beat the Colts in OT. Not much. I don't really know what you can take away from that. The fact they went to OT against the Colts might be pretty, what can I say? Scary almost for Titans fans because it's the Colts. They aren't a really really good team. They did beat the Rams 28-16, and that was a pretty good win. They showed that they played well. They played well against the Matt Stafford led Rams, and just an all around good game. They didn't beat the Saints only by 2 points though. The Saints aren't exactly a great team without Jameis Winston and with Trevor Siemian as their starter, so that was a bit iffy. But this past week, they lost to the Texans 22-13, and this is where things started to get ugly because Tyrod Taylor played really well. I think he got 2 rushing touchdowns, but more than that, there's just a bunch of silly mistakes that you can't be making in the NFL. And if you want to be the number one seed, you can't really be making those mistakes. So right now, it's hard to say what position the Titans are in right now. They play good against good teams, but it's almost as if they play good against good teams, but bad against bad teams. And it's really making sense because they're in the same division as the Jaguars. So if they lose to the Jaguars, 1 or 2 more times, what can we say about their season, So that's pretty scary. Their schedule, they play the Patriots. I think that'd be a good game. I actually think the Patriots could sneak away with that one. They've been looking pretty good, and honestly, Bill Belichick is one of my favorite head coaches in the NFL, just because he's sort of like a super villain in movies. Like, you finally take him down for a year, maybe 2. You take him down for 2 years, and then finally people couldn't finish him off. But now he's coming back into the playoffs. He's coming back. I think he was number 1 in the division last week. It's scary. Bill Belichick might be. He is the greatest coach of all time. He's definitely going to be by the time he retires. And I'm an Eagles fan saying that. I'm not like a Patriots fanboy. But yeah, I think the Patriots could come away with that victory against the Titans. You're done looking at the Jaguars versus Titans. I wanted to see the Titans easily win that one, but honestly, with that team, you never know. They played the Steelers. I'm confident that the Titans could beat the Steelers. They played the 49ers. That could be a close game. Still think the Titans could come away with that one. They played the Dolphins, and I still think the Titans could come away with that win. I could see them actually losing to the 49ers now that I think about it. Especially if, the Titans, if they end up playing to the Steelers, I could see them losing to the 49ers. And then Week 17 against the Texans, it's probably going to be a must-win game for them. Or not a must-win, but a key game in order for them to clinch the number 1 seed. I can see them winning that game. So I can see them winning, 1, 2, 3. I can see them winning 4 games, losing 2 games. Going 4-2 to finish off the season. But, and if you're a Titans fan, I really don't know what to tell you. Having beaten teams like the Rams, you hold the Chiefs to 3 points, and beating the Bills, but then also losing to the Jets and the Texans. I really don't know. This has been a roller coaster season for you guys. And also losing Derrick Henry while in the process of all that. That just got to hurt a bit. But a number 2 seed, and I don't know how many people actually saw this coming, but it's actually the Ravens. Surprisingly enough, the Ravens have started playing good as of late. Last time I watched one of their games, they got blown out by not got blown out, but they got outplayed pretty heavily against the Bengals. That game was 41-17. But the Ravens, I haven't watched much of their games so far, but I've heard they're playing pretty good. Though after losing to the Dolphins, how good are you really? They lost to the Dolphins in that, I think it was a Thursday night football game, and from what I saw, that game just wasn't good. The Ravens were just getting blitzed the whole game, and they only figured out how to stop the blitz throughout the fourth quarter, where it was way too late. And last week against the Bears, they needed a comeback. They needed but a pretty late drive in order to win the game with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. And honestly, good for Tyler Huntley, man. He got his first career win. I think it was his first career start too, but he got a nice win against the Bears. But winning 16-13 against the Bears, I guess you could say that's the reason was because they didn't have Lamar. But still, 16-13 against the Bears. So looking at their schedule, still they play the Browns. I honestly think the Browns could come away with that one. I think the Browns are gonna win one of the 2 matchups they still have with the Ravens, because they still play them this Sunday, the 28th, and they play them in December 12th. So just looking at their schedule, they play the Browns. I think that could be a win for the Browns. Then they play the Steelers. I think they can easily beat the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are going to aren't great. They aren't playing good anymore. The Steelers, I think they're going to beat them. They're 1-1 so far. When they play the Browns again, I think they'll be able to beat the Browns. So they're 2-1. They play the Packers. I think the Packers are going to win that game. Aaron Rodgers, you can't bet against him, So 3-1. 2-2. The Ravens. You play the Bengals next, and I think you could lose to the Bengals. The Bengals have looked really good, especially when they play these NFC North opponents. Actually, don't quote me on that. I think they lost pretty badly to the Browns last time they played them. But I think the Bengals are a good team, and they show a lot of potential. Just they need to stop. They should have maybe drafted Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase. Though honestly, with the results they're getting from Jamar Chase, I guess you can't really argue that right now. Just when Joe Burrow gets killed in the backfield, you sort of wonder what if they had taken Penei Sewell to help block him, but it is what it is. But yes, so I can see them losing to the Bengals. So now they're 2-3. They play the Rams, and also this is one of those games where I can see the Ravens winning because it's the Rams have looked good at times, but also bad at times. I can see them beating the Rams. So that's 3-3 on the season. And Week 17 against the Steelers, I can see them beating the Steelers. Week 17 when it all comes down. The season probably doesn't come down to that, but they could probably use a win to help with their seeding. So I can see them beating the Steelers, improving their record to 3-2. Or not 3-2. Yeah, wait, is it 3-2? Hold on, my math's messed up. Yeah, 4-3. Never mind. Yeah, so I can see them improve their record 4-3 to the end of the season. So 4-3, you add that onto their record right now. That says that they're 11-6 to end the season. Would you be happy with that? Maybe, but looking at some of the teams that are in this, that are just in the race in general, you're probably gonna have a 4 seed because you saw the Bills and Chiefs in the playoff race, and the Bills and Chiefs. Well, let's get on to them now. The Bills in number 3, and the Buffalo Bills coming off a win against the Saints, where I'm pretty sure that game just looked really lopsided. Well, I went to bed when it was like, what was the score? It was like 28-0 or something like that. They were winning pretty handily, so it looks like they won the game 31-6 against the Saints. But they were coming off a pretty bad loss against the Colts, 41-15, and then they also they beat the Jets pretty badly, but they also lost to the Jaguars. So the Bills are another team. They're starting to find their identity a bit, but this next week could honestly be a fun game. I could see them losing to the Patriots. I really think that Bill Belichick, you can't underestimate him. He's probably how do I put this? He's one of the most fun coaches to watch in the NFL. Not like that. He has no personality, which helps make him fun to watch. Like, I don't know. I like watching his games because I like seeing how well coached he is. He's able to coach his team really well and stuff. It doesn't make sense. Hopefully it does. But so let's talk about this. The Bills, the rushing game last time I checked hasn't been great. But Matt Breida is running the ball pretty well. I feel like they're letting Josh Allen get hit way too much. But he's built like a tank. Like, he can take these hits. But I'm still worried. Like, anytime I see a quarterback get hit, I'm always worried because they are meant to be taking hits. But Josh Allen, I guess, is a different breed, and he's been struggling with the passing game quite a bit because the defense, not defense, the league started to figure him out a bit in terms of just pass defense. If they can play enough people back, they can stop him. So they've been able to figure out some stuff. So the Bills, but honestly, they're playing really good. Though I will say, some news came out earlier saying that Tre'Davious White's out for the season, and if that is the case, that ruins their chances heavily because, that's a big blow. Losing your number one corner and a corner of that caliber. I don't know how he's been playing this season, but he's still a pretty good cornerback in the NFL. I'd have to say. So losing a cornerback of that caliber is never good. So what do you know? They move. They're able to just move along. So looking at their schedule, they play the Patriots. The Patriots, that should be a win. That should be a win for the Patriots actually, because the Patriots, I can see them beating the Bills. This is one of those games where you never know how it's going to happen. In Buffalo, I would probably pick the Bills now that I think about it. In Buffalo, you got to pick the Bills, but that's not to discount them from winning later on. So next up, they're 1-0 to start off, and they play the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers are a team that you can never count out because Tom Brady is a different animal. And I would have to say, considering that Tre'Davious White's out for the season, you got to go with the Buccaneers here. I mean, having receivers of that caliber and not having your number one corner, that's a huge blow. And your offense can only keep up so much if your defense keeps allowing points. So I have to go with the Buccaneers there. They're 1-1. They play the Panthers. The Bills should beat the Panthers. I don't know how the Panthers would beat the Bills, to be honest with you. I guess, again, not having Tre'Davious White's going to affect them. But by then, hopefully, after losing to the Buccaneers, their cornerbacks have some experience. They're able to come back from it. They're able to rally against that. And I can see them beating the Panthers. Sort of like they want to get revenge for losing against the Buccaneers. So now they're 2-1. And this is where I think it's going to go downhill for them. Because they play the Patriots, and I can see them losing to the Patriots. And in New England, that's always a tough place to play in. And it's the day after Christmas. It's probably going to be the temperature isn't going to be great there. And to be fair, Buffalo is pretty far up north, so they are pretty used to bad temperatures. But it's still New England. New England is never a fun place to play in, especially as it gets colder. And I can see the Patriots coming away with this one. It's later in the season. Bill Belichick's coming up with this, is able to scheme up a plan. You don't have your number one cornerback. He's going to pick on that. And that's what makes him great. So I can see them losing to the Patriots. That makes them 2-2. They play the Falcons and the Jets to end off the season. I can see them winning both of those games, improving their record to 4-2 in the back half of the season. So let's say they finish 4-2 in the back half of the season. They also become 11-6. So it's sort of it comes down to how good how's the seeding going to work. Right now, the Bills have one less win than the Bills have one more loss than the Ravens in the seedings. So if they both are 11-6, it's going to come down to some tiebreaker. I don't know how the tiebreaker would work yet, though, to be honest. So yeah, I can see the Bills going 11-6. I can also see them going 10-7 too, if they lose to the Patriots both times. But I really don't see them losing any other games, to be honest. I can see them losing to the Patriots, and I can see them losing to the Buccaneers. That's about it. So next up, we got the Chiefs, and they have a bye this week, so gotta get some rest. But the Chiefs have been an interesting team, to say the least. They've sort of been catching it on as of late. So let's talk about this. The Chiefs in the beginning of the season looked terrible, just flat out. They looked horrible. But if you only beat the Eagles by 12 points, how can you really consider yourself a great team? And this is the beginning of the season Eagles, not the back half of the season Eagles. So you start off the season with the win against the Browns, where you shouldn't have won that game. The Browns just sold so hard. You play the Ravens, you lose by 1 point to them because Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball. You play the Chargers, you lose to them because, that was just, again, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, there's a few fumbles in that game. You beat the Eagles by 12 points, but it's the Eagles. What can you really take away from that? You lose to the Bills, 28-20. You then play the football team. You're able to smack them down. But then lose to the Titans, 27-3. Your offense only scoring 3 points. That is considered one of the best offenses in the NFL. You then beat the Giants 20-17. Beat the Packers 13-7, but the Packers only had Jordan Love at quarterback. And you beat the Raiders 41-14. And then you beat the Cowboys 19-9. How much can you really take away from this? The Chiefs look like a really bad team in the beginning of the season, but over their past 5 games, or 6 games even, they won 5-6. They've won their past 4 games, and they're going to carry that momentum because you play the Broncos next. You're probably going to beat the Broncos, to be honest. You play the Raiders, and I can see the Raiders coming away that game. I don't know how you say that, because the Raiders have played damn good over the past few games, and they beat the Cowboys. You might say they only beat them in overtime, but they still beat them and the Cowboys' offense is really good. You can't discount that. So the Chiefs can beat the Broncos, but I think they're going to lose to the Raiders. You play the Chargers again. I think you're going to lose to the Chargers. You play the Steelers. I hope you beat the Steelers. You play the Bengals. I can see the Bengals coming away with that one, and I can see beating the Broncos in the final week of the season. So just looking at the Chiefs' schedule, I can see them winning 3 games and then losing 3 games. They go 3-3 for the rest of the season, and they finish off with what record? They finish off with a 10-7 record. I can realistically see that happening. I know it sounds crazy because, well, it's the Chiefs. They've consistently been one of the better teams in the NFL, but I can realistically see this happening. That's just me though. So next up, that's the four division leaders. So now we get into the wild cards and the teams that are in the hunt. So next up we have the Patriots and the 5 seed. And shame on the NFL for letting Bill Belichick back into the game, because after Bill Belichick, if he makes the playoffs, I mean, I'm kind of scared if he's able to do it with a rookie quarterback and everything. So the Patriots, let's take a look at how they've been playing over the past bit. And I saw it somewhere, but they could very easily only have a few losses on the season. Not a few. Like they're 7-4 right now. Patriots are 7-4 right now. We're just looking at some of the games, right? You play the Dolphins in week 1 and you lose to the Dolphins because someone fumbled the ball or something happened. I think it was Ramondre Stevenson fumbled the ball or Damian Harris fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line or something like that. Like they lost because someone fumbled the ball in the red zone when they could have easily gotten a field goal to win the game. So they could have won that game. They played the Jets. They beat them 25-6. Then they play the Saints 20-13. That's the first game where you go, okay, well, they deserve to lose that game because there really wasn't anything bad that happened. You play the Buccaneers and you lose to them 19-17. Just a bad game. You could have won that game pretty easily because Tom Brady wasn't at his best, to be honest. And that game you should have won, but Buccaneers just came out on top. You play the Texans. You beat them 25-22. You didn't compete with the Cowboys or able to stand toe to toe with them. And lose to them 35-29 in overtime. Again, that's another game where you could have won, you just didn't end up winning because the Cowboys just were better. You play the Jets, you absolutely demolished them 54-13. You play the Chargers, you beat them 27-24. You play the Panthers, you beat them 24-6. You play the Browns, you beat them 45-7. You play the Falcons, you beat them 25-0. Well, looking at these past few games, they've been playing really good. Over their past 6 games, they won 5 of them. And they won 5 straight. They're on a roll. And they play the Titans next. And I think I said this earlier, but I can see them beating the Titans. This feels like a Bill Belichick game in New England against a team that's still trying to find their identity after Derrick Henry got injured. I can see them winning this game. So you have a win against the Titans. You play the Bills. I already said I think the Bills are going to win this game. The first game at least, because it's in Buffalo. You play the Colts in Indy. I think you can beat the Colts, to be honest with you. You play the Bills again at home. This is where things change. You beat the Bills. You beat the Jaguars in week 17. Yeah, it's week 17 now because the schedules are messed up. But you beat the Jaguars in week 17, and week 18 against the Dolphins. You beat them, and you finish off the season with only 1 loss. In the last 6 games of the season, you get 1 loss. I can realistically see that happening. You finish off the season 5-1. You add on to your record. What's that? You're 12-5. You win the AFC East. I can realistically see that happening, and I think that's going to happen because the Patriots look like a good team right now, and at 12 at that record, they're past number 3 seed. They won their division, so they're already at the number 3 seed. They're better than the Ravens because I think I already said the Ravens are going to go 11-6, and they're better than the Chiefs. They have the number 2 seed, and I didn't do the math for the Titans, but that's what I said. So I'll stick with that. I had to cough. But yeah, so next up we have the Bengals and the 6th seed. And the Bengals, they were, I'm pretty sure at one point they actually had the number 1 seed in the AFC. But over the past few games, they've been folding. They haven't been playing great. They lose to the Jets 34-31, Mike White's coming out game. You played the Browns 2 weeks ago, and you lose to them badly, 41-16. But last week you beat the Raiders 32-13. That was a good rebound. You played the Steelers this week. I think you beat the Steelers. It sounds like I'm hating on the Steelers, but I'm really not. I just feel like the Steelers aren't a great team, to be honest. That defense is okay, but that O-line isn't going to get you anywhere, to be honest. And I don't understand how the Steelers are still in the playoff race, to be honest, but you can't complain, So I can see the Bengals beating the Steelers in that next week. then you have the Bengals and the Chargers, and this is one of those games where I feel like it could be a really fun game to watch, but I can see this is tough, because you have the Bengals defense. It's basically going to ultimately come down to whose defense is better and whose defense is worse, and let's put it this way: the Eagles lost by 3 points to the Chargers. Are the Bengals better or worse than the Eagles? I like to say they're on the same level. Probably better, though. The Bengals are probably better than the Eagles. So that begs the question. What's going to happen in this game? I feel like the Chargers are going to win. Strictly because of the fact that when you play the Eagles have some pretty good cornerbacks. The Bengals, I don't really know if they've had great cornerback play this season. I can see the Chargers beating the Bengals in 2 weeks, but that could be a really fun game to watch. Chargers against Bengals. That's a fun game. You play the 49ers. I can see you guys beating the 49ers too. You play the Broncos next. I can see you guys beating the Broncos. You play the Ravens, and these divisional games are always tough to tell. But I can see... what did I say earlier? I forgot what I said earlier. But, I forgot what I said earlier about this game. But I don't know. I'll just forget about that. I can see the Bengals beating the Chiefs in week 17. And then last week of the season, Bengals versus Browns. I can see them rebounding, beating the Browns in week 18 to help clinch their spot. So I can realistically see them winning 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, winning 4 games. And I forgot what I said for the Ravens game. So I can see them realistically winning 4 games. And then I think I said the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens. So I can see them winning 5 games, losing 1 game. That puts them at what? That lets them be 11-5. Or 11-6. 11-6. And if you are 11-6, well, that means that you tied with the Ravens for first place in the NFC North. And then if you beat them both times, you have the tiebreaker over them, which means that the Bengals won that AFC North. So that's what I can see for the 6th seed. For the 7th seed, the Chargers are the 7th seed right now at a record of 6-4. And the Chargers, they are an interesting team once again, because the Chargers they started off the season. I think they started off the season pretty hot, but over the past few games they've cooled down a bit. They opened off the season with a win against the football team. They lose to the Cowboys, but I'm pretty sure that game was filled with penalties. Like that game, the Cowboys didn't deserve the win, but they still lost. The Chargers still lost. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Raiders, they beat the Browns, so they went a pretty hot streak there. But then they ended up losing to the Ravens by 28 points. You end up losing to the Patriots by 3. You didn't beat the Eagles by 3. So, hey, good for you. You lose to the Vikings by 7. You beat the Steelers only by 4 points. I mean, they play good at times, but how good are they really? So, you play the Broncos, I can see that being a win. The Broncos aren't good. You play the Bengals, I can see the Chargers beating the Bengals there. I think I said that like literally a few minutes ago. The Chargers play the Giants, I can see the Chargers beating them. The Chiefs play the Chargers, I think the Chiefs... Actually, no, I think the Chargers are probably going to beat them. Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs. Chargers are going to beat the Texans. The Chargers are going to beat the Broncos. And they're going to lose to the Raiders in the last week of the season, which puts them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-1 to finish out the season. Right, and you add that onto your record. They go 12-5. Actually, that's pretty bold, but I realistically see that happening. Maybe you throw in a loss and they go 5-2, but realistically, they could easily go 6-2. 6-1 to finish out the season, putting their record at 12-5. So the Chargers, they've been an interesting team so far. I would like to say, I'm also, I don't know if you guys know, but I am sort of a Chargers fan. I'm not bandwagon or anything, but Justin Herbert was the first player I ever scouted coming out of college. Not like real life scouted, like coming out of the draft I watched tape. That was the first player I ever watched tape on, and actually try doing scouting. So, and also, Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen kind of carried me to fantasy championships for the past few years. So you always gotta love the fantasy players. Actually, I have Mike Williams on my team, who was carrying me in the beginning of the year. So, you gotta love it. So these are the teams that are, I guess, in the playoffs right now. So if the season ended today, these are teams that would make the playoffs. So let's talk about a few teams that are on the bubble, and I guess we'll talk about the 4 teams that are on the bubble. Because other than that, there really isn't many other teams to talk about. We'll talk about the NFC in a podcast that will follow up with this. So, I'm probably not going to record this right after this. I'm probably going to record this tomorrow. It'll be Saturday. I don't know. I have stuff to do. So, the 8th seed, we had the Steelers. I'm going to just fly through these. The Steelers, like I said earlier, I don't think they're a good team. They've been riddled by injuries, sure, but Big Ben's out. when is Big Bang coming back? I don't even know. I'm too tired to look at that. You tied with the Lions a few weeks ago, and that's never a good look. And you lose to the You did compete with the Chargers, but you still lost to them. You played the Bengals. I can see you guys losing that game. You played the Ravens. I can see you guys losing that game. You played the Vikings. I can see you guys winning that game, to be honest. You then played the Titans. I can see you guys winning that game. I can see you guys losing that game. You played the Chiefs. That's a loss. The Browns. That's a loss. And the Ravens. That's a loss. So you guys win one game. Woohoo! You guys lose all 6 other games. I really don't see how you guys are going to make the playoffs, especially looking at the teams you guys still have to play against. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the season's over for you guys, especially with that one tie in there. I mean, if you guys had beaten the Lions, your playoff chances would be looking a bit better by now. Like, if you guys had beaten the Lions by a lot, that would have probably brought my hope back against. But against the Lions, you tied. I don't know what to tell you. So I'm just going to fly by these. The Colts. The Colts are, again, another interesting team, led by Wentz, who, I mean, as an Eagles fan, I still want Wentz to do good. I kind of miss Wentz, not going to lie. But I want him to do good. I want to see him succeed. But you played the Bills. You beat them badly, like 41-15. And the Colts over the past few weeks have started looking really good. Not really good, but they started to look good. So the Colts against the Buccaneers, I think the Buccaneers are going to win that game. Against the Texans, though, I can see the Colts winning that. Against the Patriots, they're going to lose that game. Against the Cardinals, they're going to lose. The Raiders, I can see them coming out with that game. And the Colts are against the Jaguars. They're probably going to win that game. So they can finish off the season 1, 2, 3. They're going to finish the season off 3-3 in my prediction. And that'll give them a final record of 9-8. Is that enough to make the playoffs? Probably not. Maybe if you get lucky with a few teams losing, you can. But realistically speaking, I mean, the season's over. I would just say lose all your games. So, you guys have a better draft pick. Oh wait, never mind. The Eagles have your draft pick. So, I guess I'll still say lose all your games. The Eagles I would love to have a better draft pick for the Eagles. So next up, the Tennessee with the Raiders, 6-5. They're actually third place in the AFC West. So surprising, but I still think the Raiders can come away. You just beat the Cowboys in OT on Thanksgiving, and you beat you lose to the Bengals though, and you lose to the Chiefs and you lose to the Giants. I mean, the Raiders are a good team. Are they a great team? No, but they're a good team. You play the football team, you're going to win that game. You play the Chiefs, I can see you guys beating the Chiefs. You play the Browns, I can see you guys. I can see you guys losing to the Browns. You play the Broncos, I see you guys beating the Broncos. You play the Colts, I see you guys beating the Colts. And the Chargers in the last week of the season, I can see you guys losing to the Chargers. Right? I think that's what I said for the Chargers. So that brings you to let's see, that's 1 win, 2 wins. Wait, 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins. Yeah, you finish off the season 4-2. I can see that realistically happening. You finish off the season 4-2, and you have a final record of 10-7. I can see that happening. Now, will you guys make the playoffs again, or get 10? Yeah. Will you guys make the playoffs? I don't know. You guys are going to need to be lucky to get. You need a few teams to lose, a few teams to win. But that's what I think is going to happen. And this is, guys, the final team that's really in contention for the last playoff spot. They're also 6-5, like the Raiders and the Colts. And that is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, what can I say about this team? I mean, Baker isn't playing great. You guys just cut OBJ. For the better or for worse, I really can't tell right now. You guys have played, 1 or 2 games without him? You guys barely beat the Lions. You guys lost pretty badly to the Patriots. You guys beat the Bengals pretty badly, but you also lost to the Steelers. What can I say? You played the Ravens. I can see you guys losing one of the games, but beating them on one of the other games. So, you're 1-1 so far. You played the Raiders. I think I can see the Raiders winning that game against you guys. Actually, no, I think I can see you guys beating the Raiders. 2-1. You play the Packers. I think you guys are going to lose to the Packers. That's 2-2. You play the Steelers again. I think you guys are going to beat the Steelers 3-2. And play the Bengals in week 18 when the season finally comes down to this. And I already said this, but the Bengals are going to beat you guys, leaving you guys at the end of the season with a record of 3-3. And yeah, I mean, you guys finished out the season 3-3. Bring your record to 9-8. And again, looking at some of the other teams that are still in the race, will that be enough to make you guys get into the playoffs? I really don't know. I really don't know if it will be or not. That we'll just have to see. So, I finished the AFC today. I'll probably finish off the NFC tomorrow. Because, it's getting pretty late here. I also want to I'm probably gonna hop on my Xbox or something. So, yep, that's probably gonna do it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel, hopefully you guys drop a like or subscribe, and I guess leave a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next from me. If you guys are watching on my podcast, leave a review. What do you guys think on my podcast? Always appreciate if you guys just follow it wherever you guys are listening, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. So just in general, hopefully you guys enjoy my stuff. So yeah, have a great weekend, I guess. Or I'm gonna just talk tomorrow like usual. So, goodbye for now, and hopefully you guys had fun with ramblings with Big Man Not Big.